Okay, guys. So apparently they did a nice update on YouTube. So let's take a look at it. This is called YouTube finally made a good change. Let's do it.
Happened and I'm as shocked. It actually happened and I'm as shocked as you are. YouTube actually reverted one of their bad changes they've made recently. This is more rare than winning the lottery. In November, YouTube made changes to their monetization policy, which overnight slapped a ton of channels and demonetized a large portion of their catalog with no warning whatsoever that it was coming. Pretty much overnight, a ton of channels had their income drastically affected, which led to fear and outrage, naturally. They decided that it was...
And at the end, and realistically speaking, the reason that they did that most likely was because of some kind of like fear of advertising pressure of losing income from that, which means everybody loses income, right? Like the whole when we had the whole issue where people, what was it called, like the big demonetization situation where they demonetized a ton of different channels. That came because there was like ads on like really inappropriate videos and advertisers were pulling out. So it was probably a fear to get ahead of that. It seemed a little too restrictive, but I mean, to be honest with you, like I get it at the same time. It's better to lose a little bit of income now than to like YouTube, the entire platform, to be like a place where you can't continue to generate income. That would be pretty messed up. So, okay.
It's time to really sterilize the content. No more of those naughty sailor sentence enhancers. Welcome to Weenie Hut Jr., bub. So they
and it was mostly in like the first couple minutes or something. It wasn't like, you know, that's my understanding of it at least. What's interesting though is that since they like reversed this decision, like more of my videos have been getting demonetized. I wonder when they did it. I don't know, but more of my videos have been getting hit more than anything else. I keep having like a video goes up and it's green, and then it ends up going down. It's fucking weird. But what are you gonna do?
Punished a lot of channels, and today they actually announced that they're reverting that change on the bad words. So they're no longer going to be treating all curse words equally. There's going to be tiers to them, because fucking obviously there should be. Not every
curse word tier list? Should we make a curse word tier list? But I don't think I could do that. I don't think I'm allowed to say most of those curse words. That might be a little bad. Okay, well, something.
Curse words the same. You can't argue that hell and damn are on the same level as a fuck. The original policy said that all bad words are going to be equal in the eyes of the algorithm. So it was a big problem that now they've recognized was a problem, so they've dialed it back. They're also being more flexible on the harshness of the language you can use in the content and still be monetized for. Not only that, they're finally showing us how the sausage is made and is no longer just making it vague statements. They are making it very clear what is and is not going to trigger different levels of monetization, what is and is not allowed for full monetization, what will result in limited monetization, and what exactly will result in no ads. They finally laid it all out plainly and clearly, so there's no guesswork anymore. Overall, this is a very surprising announcement because I can't even recall the last time YouTube reverted a policy change. The only one that even tickles my noodle is when Google Plus still existed, and you had to sign up for Google Plus to comment on YouTube videos. But I feel like the only reason that got taken away is because Google Plus got taken away. That got buried like a fucking dinosaur. It went extinct. The service ceased to exist. Thus, it could no longer exist on YouTube as a commenting feature. And it's been like 10 years since then. God rest the soul of Google Plus. I know all 3 people that used it are probably still very distraught about it. Maybe time heal those wounds. But I feel like I'd remember if they actually reverted that change before Google Plus's collapse. And I don't remember any announcement like that. I think they were stubbornly going to ride or die on Google Plus, and then Google Plus died. So not even that really fully qualifies, I don't think. I actually just can't think of another policy change they've ever walked back on. I really can't. This is truly a unicorn here. It's super refreshing, and I'm thankful that they're, you know, going back on this change. And I can again say you're fucks. You can then say, you know, whatever other colorful language you want to include without.
Yeah, I didn't really change any of my language, but also, like, I think part of that is being, like, a smaller content creator. You go through the cracks a little more, you know what I mean? So, like, you know, sometimes you can get away with stuff if you don't get, like, a lot of views. And then it's, like, some of it's, like, until you get reported. But what's frustrating is that I had a video that I did. It was, like, Blair White did a video talking about, she's like, oh, TikTok is creating trans people or something. So I made a video, like, contesting it. I mean, I wasn't, like, it's whatever. Like, it's just, like, public discourse content. But I made the title the same, and then I put like Papa Got Reacts, and I think that they pulled it down for hate speech because of it. But I'm like, why does mine get pulled down for hate speech with the same title, but hers is still up? And I think hers should be up. But it's like, that's the kind of annoying shit, you know? So I got a copyright. I got a fucking content warning for it. I don't know. Some stuff is like really annoying from YouTube. Like what an unfair content warning.
fear of your livelihood being threatened for it or anything like that. But I am admittedly confused that this is the first change that they're publicly eating shit on, saying that this was too far, too Insano style, it wasn't how we wanted it to be, and we've listened to the feedback, so we're going to revert those changes.
Is that what they actually said? Or maybe they're just, I don't know, like, was it that deep? Oh, they probably implemented it, realized maybe it was a little too disproportionate, maybe it was too much. Actually, it makes perfect sense if you think about it. So, okay. So here's why I think, this is actually why I think that they did it. They're reversing the change. Okay, so first of all, I maintain that the reason they probably implemented the change in the first place was because they wanted to maintain a good relationship with advertisers. And so in order to do that, they wanted to have like good restrictions, because obviously you don't want to get all your videos like, okay, we don't want like another whatever adpocalypse again, right? So YouTube is probably like, okay, let's increase the restrictions on these. This way advertisers don't pull out. But then since they increased the restrictions, they had to pull ads in the videos. But the thing is that they have, it's not like just the video creator is losing money. Now YouTube is losing money as well because they pulled ads on those videos. It's not like they're continuously running ads in those videos. No. So then YouTube made less money. So now they're like, oh shit, we're hurting our bottom line. We're hurting our bottom line, guys. Well, okay, we got to reverse this decision because now it's a big problem. That's probably what happened. Oh, they don't want to do that. So, yay for YouTube ruining their own paycheck.
I'm just surprised it's this one as opposed to dislikes. They removed dislikes a long time ago, and people still are very vocal about how awful of a decision that was, and people are still very much wanting dislikes to be re-enabled on the platform.
I just feel like this dislike thing is so weird to me. It's really one of those who cares moments. Like, I don't think that many. I'm sure that there are people, especially in more commentary oriented communities, that don't like this, that wish they had dislikes back. But I don't think most people give a shit. I don't really think it's that big of a deal. It really doesn't matter that much. Also, it probably didn't hurt their bottom dollar. The idea was probably to reduce bullying. That's what they had said, which kind of makes sense. This way you can't just like bombard somebody with stuff. I think it's good to be able, I know that some people are like, well, I like seeing the likes or dislikes because then I know if the video is good or bad, but you don't always know if a video is good or bad based on likes or dislikes. Sometimes people are just fucking dumb about it. I just feel like it's just not like this huge vocal, like every day, oh my God. It's just like something that's like, yeah, remember when they did this? It's like, okay. I don't get it. They're helpful for tutorial videos. I guess that makes sense. I just don't think that there's this public outreach of like, oh my God, this is this, that, and the other thing. But okay.
And I feel like that's a pretty easy one for them to do because dislikes still exist. It's just not publicly accessible on the platform without an extension. So they could easily flip that switch back on, and it'd be a slam dunk to showcase that they actually are listening to feedback now. I think this is a great first step. Like, hey, don't get me wrong, I'm happy about this. You know, hey, we heard you. We're reverting this change. It wasn't a good change. But why not also extend that to something like dislikes? And also, they haven't made any mention on that violent content policy that they updated at the same time.
For me, because I guess I engage in like controversial content. I think, because it makes sense for tutorial videos, right? Like nothing's going to be perfect. But when it comes to like more controversial content or stuff where like you're exploring or conversational content, I don't think it's a bad thing for dislikes to be disabled for those specifically. Because if you have somebody who's, let's say for instance, engaged in like a discourse with somebody else, and that one person might be a larger content creator, they're generally going to have the higher dislike or the higher like ratio because they're larger. You know, when you're a larger content creator, you don't have to think as critically when you're contesting somebody else. Because you already have like the audience that'll kind of like agree with mostly. Oh my God, I can't believe I just got fucking hit by that. That are going to like a lot of times blindly agree with like what you have to say. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to remove it, but maybe that's my bias being in more of a controversy sphere. But I think that like priming likes and dislikes are a way to prime an audience. You know, if you come in with like a dislike, especially on a more controversial video topic, it's like, oh, it's a 50% dislike. It must be wrong. You're going to come in with like the mental thought process, like, oh, that they must be wrong, instead of actually explore things more critically. People do it all the time. They don't even realize that they're being biased sometimes when they see like that type of priming. So I don't think it's a bad thing. That's why I don't really care either way that it was removed. Like, it's not something that I would live or die on.
As the cursing policy, where a lot of channels were also hit by that if they were playing a video game that was a little too violent. So there is still room for improvement, but it is a good first step that I'm thankful for. So I just wanted to at least point out a couple of other things that I would like them to address as well. Of course, the biggest being bringing fucking dislikes back. Now, there's one more pretty important thing that I'd like to talk about. They actually put out a video going over everything and explaining it in greater detail with an actual face to the policy.
Ooh.
This is their lead monetization guy, and I half expected this to just be like a fucking android or robot or something, but they actually have the real living, breathing human being that's behind these monetization changes and these monetization policies coming forward to explain it.
This November aimed to improve the clarity and enforcement of our advertiser-friendly guidelines, and to make it easier for creators to monetize brand-safe content.
I don't really get how the November change was supposed to make it easier to monetize brand-friendly content. It didn't seem to have any effect on what was already considered brand-friendly, so that seems like kind of a nothing point. And I'm also not on board or subscribed to the belief that it was done with the intent of clarifying their policies on, cursing and all that, when it was just a full overhaul of what is and is not allowed in regards to monetization. So changing, like, the first 15 seconds, you can't say anything that's even somewhat naughty and shit like that, and treating all curse words equally. That's not really providing clarity, that's just completely changing what's already been established. So I'm a little confused on what the actual goal was, if the goal itself wasn't to make it a more strict environment, which it seems like, from what he's saying, that's not what they were intending.
Since then, we heard concerns from creators about the impact of this change. Upon reviewing our own enforcement data, we found the profanity policy resulted in a stricter approach than we intended. As a result, we are making the following changes to better reflect the goals of our initial update in November.
Again, that statement has me scratching my head like I've got fucking lice. I'm very confused. How could you not have foreseen that this profanity change makes it a more restrictive environment? If that wasn't the goal. Like, it seems like the goal was to change the profanity policy in order to make everything cleaner for people that, rely on AdSense for their livelihood on the platform, right? I don't understand exactly what the goal was if the goal wasn't to change that policy itself, because he seems to insinuate that the belief was it would make things easier. How? In what fantasy world would that have actually been the result from the policy change? It just makes everything a lot more tough and harsh to create in.
We are no longer treating all profanity.
Well, yeah, it's just gonna be like professional talk, all right? Filtering everything that they do through the best lens that they possibly can. But again, I think it's just a money thing. I think they realized that they were losing too much money and they were being too restrictive, so they decided to walk it back.
Equally. Usage of moderate profanity, words like bitch, douchebag, asshole, shit,
What?
at any time in the video content is now eligible for green icons.
Whoa!
In the November update, this would have received no ad
What
revenue.
about penis wiener
Usage of
balls?
stronger profanity, like the F word in the first 7 seconds or repeatedly throughout the majority of the video, can now run limited ads.
Okay.
Under the November update,
I got
this would
some
have
cursing.
received no ad revenue.
When he really spells out the November update, you can truly hear just how fucking brutal it was. So it is fantastic that they're walking it back. That is great. And it's also...
I mean, I feel like it's reasonable to not want to put the F word in like the first 7 seconds. I don't want to say fuck, but the first 7 seconds. I just wonder how they define repeatedly. That's like a question for... I love how I'm hitting this and it's just not taking damage. It's just awesome. Holy moly.
Also lovely to hear this guy say things like bitch, asshole, and douchebag, and he even says fuck, too. He referred to it as the F word here, but he gets a little loosey-goosey with it in a little bit. He just straight up drops a fuck in there, which is pretty cool to hear.
Content using profanity, moderate, or stronger words like fuck after the first 7 seconds will now be eligible for green icons, unless used repetitively throughout the majority of the video. As was the case before the update in November, use of any profanity, be it something like shit or the F word, in titles and thumbnails will receive a yellow icon.
I really do appreciate his matter-of-fact way of presenting this. He just lays down the brass tacks, and he does it in 4 minutes. It's pretty concise, it's bite-sized, that way you get all the information you need, and you'll know exactly what will result in what monetization status. So I actually think it's a really great thing that they've done here. I don't know if they normally do this, and I've just been missing it, but if this is new, I hope they continue it, because it leaves no more room for vagueness or misinterpretation of policies. I think that's nice. I also think it's a good thing that they have the head honcho here of the department being the principal actor here in the content, so that way he can be the face of it the way that it should be, since he is the one that leads the policy monetization team. So, overall, I am very appreciative that they have reverted these changes. I'm not going to play the rest of the video where he goes more in depth on more of the profanity changes. You can check that out yourself, so that way you have more clarity on it as well. But overall, a great change, and it seems like it's going back to the way it was before November. And actually, from the sound of what he was saying, it seems even better than it was pre-November, but maybe now I'm just not remembering exactly how the policies used to work. Regardless, though, it is a good thing. This is a rare YouTube W on this situation. I'm happy for it, but I think there's still more work to do. I do hope they continue this. I hope this is the start of more transparency, a willingness to listen to the community in regards to changes that they make. I'm hopeful that this won't be a one-off decision that they make, and we can start tackling some other problems, like the dislikes being hidden still. But anyway, I just wanted to keep everyone updated on this situation. That's about it. So yeah.
Well, okay. What's the video called? Okay. That was interesting. Profanity update.
Okay, folks, we need to talk about profanity and the update we made at the end of November to our inappropriate language ad guidelines.
Just kind of curious.
You know my full-time job is monetization policy, so before we get to the meat of it,
like
let me say
world.
First and foremost, we have read all of your feedback and watched the videos you've uploaded with feedback. You've told us that retroactive reviews of older uploads were unexpected and that the community was not sufficiently informed of these changes and their impact.
You think that they would have that just feels, oh dude, I just dashed into that. You think that they would have had like more of a handle on that? Damn, I'm having a rough time here. I always play worse when I'm like streaming. But you think that you guys would have like maybe known the baseline of being a little bit more transparent, no? Like that seems like we saw your feedback where we should have been more transparent. We've never gotten feedback like that before. Like what? Like that's crazy. Like I can't believe you guys said that. You know, it's just a little bit bizarre sometimes, I think.
What I'd like to walk you through now is how we've acted on what we've learned from the update in November. Let's start with the policy. Our update last November aimed to improve the clarity and enforcement of our advertiser-friendly guidelines, and to make it easier for creators to monetize brand-safe content.
Okay.
Since then, we heard concerns from creators about the impact of this change. Upon reviewing our own enforcement data, we found the profanity policy resulted in a stricter approach than we intended. As a result, we are making the following changes to...
AKA, guys, we started losing money, and when we start losing money, it is serious business, okay?
Better reflect the goals of our initial update in November.
I ain't gonna lose this.
We are no longer treating all profanity equally. Usage of moderate profanity, words like bitch, douchebag, asshole, shit, at any time in the video content is now eligible for green icons. Under the November update, this would have received no ad revenue. Usage of stronger profanity, like the F word in the first 7 seconds or repeatedly throughout the majority of the video, can now run limited ads. Under the November update, this would have received no ad revenue. Content using profanity, moderate or stronger words like fuck after the first 7 seconds will now be eligible.
Is this video eligible for monetization, sir? Because you're just dropping some real rude words here.
For green icons, unless used repetitively throughout the majority of the video.
What does repetitively mean? Like how many times per minute? Like what's my CPM, the curse per minute that I'm allowed to engage in before I get like my video demonetized?
As was the case before the update in November, use of any profanity, be it something like shit or the F word, in titles and thumbnails will receive a yellow icon.
Okay.
Moderate profanity, like shit, in either the title or thumbnail will receive a limited ads rating. And stronger profanity, like fuck, in the title or thumbnail will receive a no ads rating. We've also clarified our guidance.
Okay, that's fine. I wonder though if the policy's so consistently back and forth, like how do you feel confident as a content creator to I don't know, I be as bold? I wonder if they did this just to like shift the line. I don't know. Like I know that sounds weird, but like think about it. Like they have a policy that was working well and they were afraid advertisers were going to, you know, take advantage or they were going to pull out maybe. So and maybe people were pushing the line too much of what's acceptable. So they decided to give people a little bit of a little scary time for like a month or two. And then they dialed it back down after. I would be silly. That would be like that's very conspiratorial. But, you know, hey, who knows?
On how profanity in music is treated. Moderate or strong profanity used in background music, backing tracks, or intro-outro music can earn ad revenue. So, what's next? The videos that received a yellow icon as a result of the November update will be re-reviewed by March 10th. And if they get a green icon, the new monetization...
That's tomorrow, guys. Maybe some of my videos will go down. It's funny because like with this increased review process, I've had more videos taken down. So it's pretty crazy.
Status will be reflected in Studio. Note that some videos may remain with a yellow icon for inappropriate language. Like I said, if there's profanity in the title or thumbnail. While others may still have a yellow icon if they violate other advertiser-friendly content guidelines. For example, if you have a video with an adult content violation, but under this update, the video is no longer violative of our inappropriate language guidelines, the video will remain demonetized as the alternate violation remains.
Okay.
You can refer to your rating status page in Studio to check which guideline your video may be impacted by. Now, I want to explain why we have to re-review older videos when we make a change. Basically, older videos still show new ads. Advertisers target both new and old uploads based on the kinds of topics they touch on. For example, the amount of profanity in the video, not when they were uploaded. Because of this, we need to make sure that ratings, even on older videos, are consistent with current policy.
Okay.
If any of your videos received a yellow icon as a result of the November update, they will be re-reviewed and updated, if applicable, by March 10th.
Nice.
And you'll see the monetization status reflected in YouTube Studio. Now, on effective communication. For all our updates to the advertiser-friendly content guidelines, we post to our update log, our ad-friendly guidelines forum, which notifies subscribers of new updates, the AFG page, and we do a feature right here on Creator Insider. Additionally,
yeah, but then I have to read? Who wants to do that, man, you know?
This time, to ensure monetizing creators learn about this change, we'll also show a notification in Studio, alerting you to this update and linking to our forum to read more on the change. Finally, we'll be monitoring your feedback to identify any questions you have on today's update. So let us know what you think in the comments, good or bad, and we'll be reading through and trying to find more opportunities to do better in communicating these changes, as well as more opportunities to decrease the number of yellow icons you experience.
Okay.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.